Alright, so I just got up a little while back after seeing Madam Web last night. Uh, it was certainly one of the movies of all time. I'll say that. And there's no other way to say it. To me, it's a bad movie. It's bad. And I'll get into more detail why. And I'll also explain why I think Morbius is better. In my opinion, there are three kinds of bad movies. Movies that are so bad that they are downright hilarious that you can't help but laugh at and enjoy regardless. There are movies, and those can fall under guilty pleasures. And then there are bad movies in which they are so bad that they make you frustrated and angry at the decisions that were made in the filmmaking process that you can't help but be like, why? Why was this made? And then there are movies that are so dull, so boring, so lifeless that you don't feel anything when watching it. That you feel like the life is being drained out of you. You feel numb. That's how Madam Web felt for me. I was just sitting there like an empty, shallow husk, devoid of any emotion. And that frustrates me because the whole point of any story, really, whether it's a story told to purely entertain or a story that's trying to give a thought-provoking message and keep you engaged with its plot, it's supposed to make you feel something. It's supposed to evoke an emotion out of you. This is why I think Morbius is better. Because although it sucks just as much as Madam Web, at least it got me to feel something. At least I wasn't just sitting there like a numb gray blob. I was like losing my mind watching Madam Web because I felt nothing almost throughout the entire film. And I hate that feeling. I hate it. Because even if a movie turns out to be bad, I want to at least like feel some semblance of an emotion. Anger, hate, sadness, like something. I'd rather take something rather than nothing. That is the best way to describe how this movie feels. It is a huge nothing burger. Now, this is going to delve into some spoilers, so if you don't want spoilers, then just click off. So the main premise is that Cassandra Web, that's the main character's name, her mother, while she was pregnant with Cassandra, was bitten by a wonder spider. And it turned out the spider, so the mother was bitten by the spider and Cassandra was born. And it turns out she has powers from the spider bite, from her mother's spider bite. And it turns out she can see the future. This is a more advanced version of spider sense. Spider sense is a precognitive ability. It can predict the future, it can sense danger. Or like in Spider-Verse, where it told Gwen to head to Vision's Academy. But here, Cassandra can actually see visions clearly of possible futures. And the main plot is that Ezekiel, the guy in the red and black spider costume, was just... People have made this comparison, but it looks like a CW suit. Anyway, he wants to kill these three girls who eventually become the Spider Women that we see in the trailer, including Spider Woman. And essentially, Cassandra is trying to protect these girls because Ezekiel's trying to kill the girls because in the future, in 10 years into the future, they're going to kill him. And she has to protect them. That's literally the plot. That's literally it. And there's almost like nothing really to go off of from there. Essentially, all these three girls are MacGuffins, and that's essentially it. There's almost nothing to chew on. It's all surface level. Like Ezekiel, instead of maybe trying to change the future, he automatically goes, no, I have to kill them. That's it. That's the only possible way. Really, dude? Anyway, so he, instead of maybe trying to figure out how to prevent that without killing them, maybe making it so that they never get bit at all, he just immediately goes, oh no, I have to kill them. That's literally the first thing I have to do. It's just so generic and boring for a villain. It really is. And the performances all throughout, it's just so monotone and flat. Even from Dakota Johnson and the actor who plays Uncle Ben, they're the best actors in this movie, and even they sound lifeless many times. And there are many moments of obvious ADR. How sometimes when a character, you don't see their face, but there's audio playing indicating that they're speaking, but it's ADR? Here, the ADR is played over them talking. So like their mouths clearly don't match what they're saying, and it's so distracting. And the editing in this movie, oh my god, the camera work is so obnoxious. Like there are many points like where Cassandra and Ezekiel see visions of the future, and there's like just random flashes of random moments, a lot of jump cuts, and it's just so annoying. And my god, there are moments where the camera just randomly zooms in on their faces. And I'm like, what was the purpose of this? Like, what is the point of that shot? I don't get it. It just seems so random. And the finale, oh my goodness. Like, the action in this movie is just so terrible. You can barely make anything out. And almost a lot of it is just Ezekiel like walking around and jumping around. There's almost no meat to the action. And like the finale involves a bunch of fireworks going up everywhere, so there's random flashes of light, which makes everything hard to see. And I think that was done to hide either the bad stunt work or choreography, or to hide bad CGI. And there's a lot of bad CGI. Like one of the first moments of CG in this film is with a spider in a jar, and it just looks so bad. It looks so obviously fake. It should be CGI should be convincing. Like it's obviously it's fake, but it shouldn't be obviously fake, if you get what I mean. And the trailers, they're so misleading. They made a big deal about showing the 3 women in their Spider-Woman costumes. They only wear them in visions of the future. I'm not kidding. And they only show them in the beginning and at the very end of the movie. So misleading. Honestly, I can't bring myself to watch this movie ever again because it's a huge nothing. The plot is just so unengaging. Like essentially it's a gigantic fetch quest. No, it's a gigantic escort movie where Madam Web has to protect these girls from someone who wants to kill them because they're going to kill him. There's almost nothing to it. Nothing like engaging. Morbius, for all its faults, it had a much more engaging story about a man slowly declining to insanity, and how he tries to keep himself healthy and alive, but at the risk of losing his humanity. Like that's something. This movie gave me nothing. That's all I really have to say. I'm gonna give this movie an F.